Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. Today in this video I'm going to check two new FPV cameras from Foxeer, the Aero Micro Pro and the Aero Mini Pro. In this video I'm going to go over their features, show you how to set the OSD, and in the end of this video I'm going to take both cameras outdoors and compare them in different lighting situations with the Foxeer Predator Micro and the Foxeer Aero Micro V2. So let's start by opening the box in order to see what we get with each camera. So first we get in the instructions manual. You can see that they share the same instructions manual because all the settings are the same. So first of all we get in the cameras. Then with the Foxeer Micro we get in a bracket, an OSD control board and the necessary wires and screws. And with the Aero Mini we getting the same instructions manual. And inside the accessory box we getting the camera lens cover, two brackets and the same OSD controller, wires and screws. Now let's have a look on the cameras themselves. The Micro Aero Pro comes with a 2.1mm lens, whereas the Mini Pro comes with a 2.5mm lens. They share the same connector on the back. You can see on the left we have the volt in. The walk-in voltage of both cameras is between 5 to 40 volts. Then we have the ground, video, OSD and then the VBAT sensor. The Micro Aero Pro is available in black, red and blue, and the Mini Pro comes either in black or red colors. They both use the same Sony CCD sensor, so unlike the latest trend in the industry, these are CCD cameras, and the price is also very similar. The Micro Aero Pro goes for about $22 and the Mini Pro goes for about $25, so the price is pretty affordable. In addition, you can either choose PAL or NTSC versions, and the aspect ratio of these cameras is 4:3, and both aspect ratio and format are not selectable in the OSD of the cameras. The Micro Aero Pro weighs 5.72 grams, so it's almost the same weight as the Micro Aero V2, which weighs about 5.75 grams. The weight of the Aero Mini Pro is about 13 grams, so it's a little bit heavier than the Runcam Swift Mini 2, which weighs 11.85 grams. In terms of measurements, the Runcam Micro Pro has the same measurements of the Runcam Micro Aero V2. The width is the standard 90mm, the height is about 18.4mm, and the distance between the lens to the back of the camera is about 18.8mm. The measurement of the Mini Pro is 21.5 by 21.5mm, and the distance between the lens to the back of the camera is about 31mm. So now I'm going to connect the Aero Mini Pro to the OSD control board in order to show the settings. The menus are the same and both cameras share the same firmware, so the settings are going to be identical. Accessing the menu is done by short pressing the OSD controller board, and then we have the pretty much standard settings, and I'm not going to go over all the settings in this video because they are pretty much irrelevant to my test. And let me explain to you why. If I'm going to exit this menu and long press the up button of the joystick, you can see that we can access this menu that are going to allow us to use presets mode, which means we can change between default settings of the camera, vivid, sunny, cloudy, LED DR, which means night mode, and finally we have the user mode. All the settings that you're going to change in the previous menu are going to be reflected using this mode, but if you're going to choose any of the other modes, they are not going to be in effect, which means that if you choose vivid, the camera is going to use their presets mode for vivid, and so on. So what I've done in my comparison video, I compared the camera in different lighting conditions, and I used vivid mode for daytime, cloudy when it was raining outside, and finally LED DR when it was at nighttime. In addition, in this menu, you can also change the font, the name that is going to be overlaid on your screen. You can set the time on and off. And finally, you also have here the power on L option. On means on low. If you short press it, you can set the battery low value. If your battery is going to be below this voltage, an alarm will be shown on the screen. So you can either set it on and off. Moving between the right and left toggles between reset and save. If you're going to click the save, it's going to save the settings, and if you click reset, it's going to reset it to its default settings. The next thing I've done is to mount the Foxeer Aero Mini Pro next to the Predator Micro, the Foxeer Aero V2 and the Foxeer Aero Micro Pro, and I took them outdoors and compared them in different lighting situations using the presets on both Mini and Micro Pro versions. I hope you will enjoy the rest of this video, and I will see you in the end of it in order to give you my conclusion. Overall, I think that both Mini and Micro Aero Pro cameras performed great, and I think that the image quality was improved and the Micro Aero Pro had a sharper image than the Aero V2. In addition, the selling price point of these cameras is great, and if you're looking for a micro CCD camera, the Foxeer Micro Aero Pro might be the camera that will give you the best value for money, priced at around $20. I think it's a pretty good deal. The Micro Predator had the biggest advantage at nighttime. You could see the image more clearly. All the other cameras were good, but not as good as this one. So I think that if you're looking for an all-around camera and your budget isn't limited, and you fly at evening or at night, you should consider the Predator camera over the other two. But if most of the flight are during the day and you like CCD cameras, the other two might be a great option for you. Of course, in the end of the day, it's also a matter of personal preference, and I recommend to look at the video and choose your favorite camera according to that. Having the ability to use the presets mode is a great option because all the best settings were already chosen for you, and you can use the new OSD emulator in the flight controller in order to change it through Betaflight. It's something I haven't tried yet, and also leaving an OSD connector is not such a complicated thing after all. So I hope you enjoyed this video and you find it useful. If you have any questions about any of these cameras, feel free to ask it in the comment section below. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up if you like this video and to subscribe to my channel if you're not already subscribed. See you on my next videos, and goodbye.